So in today's video, I want to talk about something that a lot of people may be overlooking or not understanding, and you may find yourself in this position. So if this is you, I want to help you identify this and why. So this is why God has to mature and grow you inwardly before he expands you and grows you outwardly. Now, a lot of times we ask for God to increase our finances, give us a spouse, or give us a platform, increase our platform, and build these different relationships and different things like that, promote us in church and different things like that. We ask for these increases in life, right? And a lot of times God will want to do it. It's in his will, of course, but he has to grow you inwardly first. You have to go through a process of maturing and preparing. You have to be prepared for what you're asking for, because you don't want, the last thing that you want is for God to give you something that's too big for you. The moment could be too big for you. The opportunity could be too big for you. The platform could be too big for you. The marriage, it could be too much for you. And if you're not mature enough and disciplined enough mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and even financially, then you will destroy whatever it is that he wants to give you, that he wants to bless you with. And you'll mess up the blessing. And a lot of times when stuff like this happens, the first thing that we do is blame God. Like, wow, God, why did you let this happen to me? Why did that happen? Why did they do this? No, you weren't in position. You're not in position to handle the warfare that comes along with marriage. Are you in position to handle the different ups and downs mentally that comes along with marriage, or the different ups and downs mentally and emotionally that comes along with ministry, or even the access to excess? Can you handle the excess that comes along with it? Can you handle the exposure? If you're in ministry, can you handle different men and women coming at you and trying to tempt you or be with you because of your status and because of who you are now? Can you handle that? Can you still say no in that time of increase? Because if not, then you'll go around sleeping. This is how a lot of people end up sleeping around when they gain access to excess, because they're not disciplined enough sexually. They're not disciplined mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. They're not disciplined enough. And so it ruins them. Their flesh begins to speak. So God has to take you through a process of destroying your flesh, killing your flesh before he can give you the increase. Because especially if you're in positions of authority before people, you don't want to be in a position where something happens and you're hurt and you end up bleeding on people. You end up being bitter. You end up being jealous. You end up being greedy. You end up manipulating people because you're hurt emotionally. The glitz and glamour may look cool. It may look, this may look fancy. These platforms and this access to excess, it may look amazing and beautiful on the outside, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes. There's a lot of ups and downs and things that you will go through behind the scenes. Let's take ministry, for example. There's a lot of different people. You have to deal with people and personalities. And when you have to deal with people and personalities, that could be a roller coaster of emotions. And those same people that you're laboring with and working with and serving, they can be the same ones that turn around and talk about you and stab you in your back. And if you're not in a position where you can maintain your posture and your composure in those times, because you just can't flash out and black out on those people and handle them any kind of way, you're in a position of authority, so there's responsibility that comes along with that. God has to grow you to be able to handle that. And when you keep on asking, well, God, why isn't it happening? You have to look at yourself and say, hey, am I in position? Am I in the right posture for what I'm asking for? Am I just wasting time? Because you could be doing everything right except for positioning yourself. You could be doing the work as far as content. You could be doing the studying, the research. You could be doing all of that. But are you doing the work on yourself to grow yourself? And also, let me add this too as well. Make sure that you are capitalizing fully on what you're doing. Make sure that you are maximizing your resources and opportunities, because you could be working hard and still not getting the fullness of whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure that, let's say, for example, if you're a chef, you're going around, you're promoting, doing things like that. But you could also, while you're doing that, have somebody that's recording and making content for you, and you put it on your page. That could be promotion. Are you collecting testimonials from your food, getting people to review your things, having your website set up? Are you fully maximizing? Do you have other friends and are building relationships in the field that you're working in, as to where now you have connections and you can get the word out more? Because you don't want to be working hard and still missing out. This is what I'm learning first person. I've been working hard for YouTube for a long time and have still been missing out on some things. I just recently learned about some things that I've been missing out on, but I've been working hard, spending hours studying and researching, but still was missing out on some things. So I wasn't fully capitalizing on the things and the tools that I've had at my disposal because I didn't know. So this is why you got to build connections with people. Hey, find mentors in your field if possible. There's nothing wrong with having mentorship. Sometimes we get stuck in the mindset of wanting to do everything ourselves and have this origin story that we got it out the mud ourselves and nobody was there to help us. But that could be a hindrance to us instead of us trying to get help and get mentors and get guidance from other people. We want all of the credit to go to ourselves when there is nothing wrong with getting help. The key and the goal is to get from point A to point B. And if you got to get help with getting from point A to point B, that's perfectly fine too, because you want to be able to help somebody in the future as well too. So there's nothing wrong with getting help from getting to point A to point B. Get some mentorship, get some guidance, get some teachers or whatever it is that you need to get. There's nothing wrong with that. You are not lesser because you got some mentorship. A lot of successful and wealthy people have business mentors and people that they can go to that help give them advice, give them wisdom, critique, and different things like that. So talk to the people around you, maximize on your resources, your friends who have connections and stuff like that. Maximize on those resources. God has placed people in your life for a reason, so utilize the people that God has given you. You're not using them in a negative way, but you guys are mutually benefiting each other. You're watching each other's back. You're helping push the kingdom forward, pushing God forward, pushing your purpose forward. And then when it's your turn, then you do the same for them. The people that helped you out, don't forget them. Do the same for them as well too. So the key is, I'm going to reiterate, don't just be working hard and not capitalizing and getting the maximum of what you are doing. Continue to study your craft, whatever that is, whether that's a ministry, whether that's businesses and entrepreneurship, whether that's social media, whatever it is. Continue to study your craft. This is a lifelong learning process because things change, and especially dealing with people. Continue to study, continue to better yourself, and continue to grow so you can capitalize fully on yourself, on your skills, and whatever it is that you're doing. Capitalize on your resources, whether that's if you have friends in different fields and if they can help and they're willing to help, reach out to them. What connections do you have currently? Make sure that you capitalize on whatever it is that you're doing so that you won't be wasting your time and wasting your effort and wasting your energy. Make sure that you're getting the most out of everything that you're doing. So that's my advice to you, and that's something that I really want people to understand and see. So if this is you, check and see. If you have questions about yourself, like why am I not, where I'm supposed to be? Why isn't it happening for me yet? See if you're really where you're supposed to be. If there's some work that you need to do on yourself, are you in your own way? Because you just may be in your own way. And if so, how do you get out of your way? Are you still immature? Can you handle the assignment? Is it too big for you? Ask yourself these questions. And if that's the case, if you say yes to any of these things, continue to grow and work on yourself. And even if you have mastered certain things, don't get so comfortable as where you stop. Continue to work on it. Continue to grow. Continue to be cognizant of what's going on around you, and continue to be cognizant of yourself. You can have a weak moment to slip up, so continue to be on your toes and be aware. So that's my advice for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as I always say, if you have any questions or if you need advice about anything, relationship, business, ministry, whatever, send them to thereapysessions@gmail.com. That's TheReapy sessions@gmail.com.